Good morning to everyone. I am Rajsari speaking. Today I shall begin my lecture in physics from zero. You know about zero, what is zero? You know all the universe or multiverse or all cosmos which is made up in spherical shape, in circular shape. Hence, all the universe, all the cosmos, it is made up of only two things, matter and energy. And I shall also explain about the matter and energy, molecules, atom. But firstly, I shall explain about two things, law of conservation of matter and law of conservation of energy. What is the law of conservation of matter? Matter neither created nor destroyed, as well as it can transform from one form to another form. As well as I can also explain about the energy. Law of conservation of energy is what? Energy can neither create it nor destroy, but it can transform from one form to another form. Both laws, it means law of conservation of matter and law of conservation of energy. Both also expressed to this phenomenon is what? It means whole the universe which is also made up of 70. It means more than 70% of matter. It is composed of more than 70% of matter. So I shall begin my lecture from here. It means from matter. Then I shall accede onward. Matter is what? Matter or those which occupied some space, which have some mass, and which shall also experience it by our sense organ is called matter. It means matter. What is the example of matter? Example, you can say to iron, air, water, etc. These are the parts of matter or examples of matter. What is the smallest part of matter? It is said to be molecule. Means the smallest part of matter is said to be molecule. Molecule is what? And what is its example? Molecules are those which can live in free state, but it cannot take part in all kinds of chemical reactions. It is said to be molecule. Example, O2, Cl2, N2, etc. These are example of molecules. What is the smallest part of the molecule? It is said to be atom. The smallest part of the molecule is called atom. Atom, what is the example of atom? Firstly, I shall also explain to the definition of atom, then also we shall also provide to the example of atom. Atoms, what is the definition of atom? Atoms are those which cannot live in free state, but it can take part in all kinds of chemical reaction is called atoms. Example of atom, O, N, Cl, S, Fe, etc. It means these are examples of atoms. One in single form. According to the Dalton's atomic theory, Dalton was a scientist of United Kingdom, British scientist. He was scientist of England. He firstly proposed the Dalton's atomic theory. It also only explained the two factors. Atom is indivisible and indestructible. It means atom can never be divided. It can never be divisible. It is the main characteristic of atom at that time, means at the time of John Dalton. Atoms is invisible. But nowadays, it means at modern time, some scientists such as John Millikan, Thomson, Ernest Rutherford, James Chadwick, Niels Bohr, Summerfield, etc. These are the scientists who firstly detect about the atoms, and he also proposed at the worldwide at the international level that what atom can be divisible into three fundamental particles: electron, proton and neutron. But some particles are also, I shall also provide the information about some two new particles to accept the electron, proton and neutron. But firstly, I shall also explain to these fundamental particles. Number first, it is electron. These are said to be fundamental particles. Electron. Number second is what? Number second, proton. Number third, neutron. Number fourth, quark. And number fifth is WIMS. WIMS is also said to be God particle. It is said to be what? God particle. WIMS is said to be God particle. I shall also introduce about electron, then proton, then neutron and quark and WIMS. Firstly, I shall introduce about electron. Firstly, who discovered the electron? Sir J.J. Thomson. The name of discoverer is what? J.J. Thomson, who firstly discovered the electron in 1897. Then after, who discovered the proton? Proton was discovered by Ernest Rutherford. It was discovered by Ernest Rutherford in 1919. Next, number third, fundamental particle said to be neutron. It is neutral, it is Charles particle, which also comes inside the nucleus and nucleons. It is said to be what? It is neutron. Neutron is discovered by a scientist whose name was James Chadwick, who discovered the neutron in 1932. Next particle, it is the quark. It is some complex particle above the level of higher secondary or secondary, but you can also take the knowledge about the quark and WIMS. Quark or those particles which can live in the three-dimensional areas of the atoms, it is said to be quark. While the WIMS particle is said to be quark particle, it is said to be God particle, and these particles, it also express to the origin of universe, multiverse or cosmos in future. It means it may also provide all kinds of the assumption about the origin of universe by means of the experiment of God particle, and this experiment will be also done in between the Switzerland, France, in the tunnel of Switzerland, France, by the experiment Hadron Collider, in which two God particles, it must be also collided from the reverse direction to each other, and they form the small black hole, teeny black hole, and the all teeny black hole which also compose to each other to form the large black hole. And this will be also denote, it also explains what is the origin of universe at that time. It means I shall also explain about all these fundamental particles at one time. It means what is the mass of electron? Mass of electron is 9.1 to 10 power minus 31 kg, or at mu scale you can also say to be 9.1 10 power minus 28 gram, or mu at mu scale is mass is 0.0005486 AMU. It is the mass of electron. While the mass of neutron is what? Mass of neutron, it is 1.67 to 10 power minus 27 kg, or 1.6 into 10 power minus 24 gram, or at mu means atomic mass unit scale. What is the mass of proton is? About 1.00757 AMU, atomic mass unit. The mass of neutron is what? It is about 1.68 into 10 power minus 27 kg, or 1.68 into 10 power minus 24 gram, or at mu scale its mass is what? 1.00893 AMU. It is the mass of neutron. These are main fundamental particles which also occur inside the atom. And what is the charge on these particles? Charge is what? Minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Its charge will be what? It is the charge of electron. It is the charge of proton plus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, and it is a chargeless particle. It means neutron has no any charge on it. Hence it is said to be neutral in nature. It is said to be chargeless particle of the atom. It is said to be neutron. Means neutron has zero charge. Means it is chargeless particle. Chargeless particle. Then after mass charge of Newton also explained about this. But there is a 32 another particle which also present in the atom. These 32 unstable particles are what? 32 unstable particles inside the nucleus of an atom. Nucleus of an atom of what? Number first, it is said to be positron. It is said to be positron. Is what discovered by C.D. Anderson. C.D. Anderson. It is positive electron, means this positron content to be positive charge in nature. While next meson, it was discovered by Yukawa. He was a Japanese scientist who discovered the meson. After meson, boson. I have also explained some particles which also stay in the nucleus and which origin is unstable and which form for few microseconds, and it is said to be unstable particles. Boson, photons, quanta, neutrino, antiproton, etc. and so on. It means these are said to be what? Unstable particles. Firstly, I shall also explain in brief about the positron. Positron is a fundamental particle also stay inside the nucleus. It was discovered by the C.D. Anderson. It is said to be what? It is said to be positron. Positron, I will also explain about the positron is what and electrons are what. Number next said to be electron, proton, neutron, you know very well. But after the positron, next part is said to be meson. Meson are also redivided into three parts: pi positive meson, pi negative meson, and pi neutral meson is pi zero meson. Pi positive, the exchange of proton into proton inside the nucleus, it is only due to the pi positive meson, exchange of pi positive meson. But the exchange of neutron into neutron only due to the exchange of pi negative meson, but the exchange of proton into neutron and neutron into neutron, neutron into proton, it is only by means of the pi neutral pi zero mesons. It is the it also originates the nuclear force inside the atom. You know the nuclear forces are two types: weak nuclear forces and strong nuclear forces. It means nuclear forces is the most strongest nuclear forces in comparison to the electrostatic forces and gravitational forces. It means nuclear forces is much strongest than electrostatic forces, and electrostatic forces are much stronger than the gravitational forces, and the gravitational force also originated by means of graviton. By means of graviton, the gravitational force is also originated here. But you can also remember here, nuclear forces are the much strongest forces in nature, while the gravitational force is the weakest forces in nature. It means after this, I will also explain the boson. Boson was discovered by the Asian Bose, or the Indian scientist, and on the behalf of boson particle, it was given the theory by the Einstein and Bose combined theory. It is said to be Bose-Einstein condensate. It is a kind of matter Bose-Einstein condensate. And it is said to be what? Next, what it is said to be Higgs boson. But it means SN Bose also contributed with the Higgs, he was the scientist, and he also proposed the theory in 1962 about the Higgs boson. Then after the photon, you know the photon, it is present in the sunlight, which also come to the earth from the sun. It also come about in approx 8 minutes from the sun to earth, and the distance from earth to sun they also calculated. It also measured in the form of astronomical unit. It means the sunlight which also come from the sun to the earth in the form of what? In the form of radiation. In the form of radiation, it is a kind of electromagnetic waves. It is also taken in the form of transverse waves. It also shows the all process, diffraction, interference, and superposition and polarization. All process also explained by the sunlight. Means white light will also come from the sun. It is said to be what? The photon. It is the bundle of energy which also present in the sunlight. It is said to be bundle of photon, and the energy of bundle of photon it may be also calculated by means of H equal to h nu or H equal to hc by lambda. Next number said to be what? Quanta. When the drawbacks of Rutherford which also detected by the Niels Bohr firstly by means of the theory of Max Planck. It is said to be quantum theory of the Max Planck, and it is said to be also, it is equivalent to the photon. It is said to be quanta or quantum. It is the kinds of, it is the form of energy, and which is also used by the proton while protons are revolved around the nucleus in the circular orbit. It is said to be quanta or quantum energy. It was given by Max Planck, for the German scientist. Next, it is said to be neutrino. It is a neutral particle just like the neutrons, said to be neutrino. And last, antiproton is what? Antiproton means it is just like mass, just like the proton, but in nature is negative, hence it is said to be negative proton. Just like the positron. Positron is the positive electron, its nature is just equivalent to the electron, but nature positive. It contains plus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. But on the basis of this positron and electron, one theory it may be also related here. It is said to be pair production and pair annihilation of two gamma photons in the nature. You know, aliens which also come from the X plane to another plane to the earth. You know about this. You know about the UFO, unidentified flying object. It also part of UFO. It is said to be what? Aliens. Those persons who come from the outer space said to be aliens, and the science of that aliens, it will be 1,000 more advanced in the science in comparison to the science of our Earth at the global level. It means they will 1,000 years advance in comparison to our science, our Earth science, and they can convert mass into energy as well as they can also convert energy into mass. But at our Earth, our globe, our Earth level, it will be only possible, we can only convert mass into energy. But we can never convert energy into mass. But the example on this Earth is also possible for the some microsecond, but you can also prove that our Earth people, our Earth scientists, who can also introduce about this factor, this phenomenon, that what? Mass can also energy into mass can also convert into energy, as well as energy also convert into mass. Example what? The pair production of two gamma photons and pair annihilation of two gamma photons. Two gamma photons, it also is split into positron and electrons. It is said to be annihilation of two gamma photons. It means mass, energy converted into mass. But when they combine to each other, means positron and electron combine to each other, they form two gamma photons, means mass converted into energy. It will be possible on Earth, but at a very small level, very small scale. This conversion will also done in few microseconds on the Earth level. It is said to be what? It is conversion of this. These are 32 unstable particles. We shall also explain in the next lecture when I shall explain about this to be deeply, then I shall explain all 32 particles. But I have less time. in demo lecture when I shall explain to some particle in this atom. Then after you know about this unstable particle, then I shall erase to this. You can take a screenshot as you like. I shall also explain about the origin of matter, means from where matter and energy originated in universe. A theory it is said to be what? About matter, antimatter. It is said to be matter. It is said to be antimatter. Suppose that matter was positive nature, then antimatter negative nature. Both are the very huge mass which also wandered in the whole universe in billions years ago. And when both collide to each other, it means the collision was possible in between matter and antimatter. It is said to be catastrophic explosion. Catastrophic explosion. The collision of matter and antimatter to form catastrophic explosion. And this catastrophic explosion is said to be what? By this creation, by this catastrophic explosion, this theory is known as Big Bang theory. It is said to be Big Bang theory about the origin of universe. It means all the world top scientists, astronomers who also believe to this theory, that it is a hypothetical theory, but anyone who can believe to this theory about the origin of universe when the collision of matter and antimatter. It is said to be Big Bang theory. And due to the result of this Big Bang theory, there are various kinds of celestial objects such as universe, multiverse, stars, nebula, constellations, comets, asteroids, planets, satellites, means natural satellite, meteors, and meteorites are formed at that time when the origin of universe or cosmos was possible. Meteorites, etc. Universe, it means I will take knowledge again at the same time about the 5% about our universe. Those universe which can not observed by the astronomers or astronomers, it is said to be multiverse to accept the universe. But we can live in universe, our universe, and our galaxy is known as Milky Way. It is the name of our galaxy. Here I write down the galaxy. Our name of our galaxy is the Milky Way, in which our sun is a star, as well as the billions of the stars which are also present in our galaxy Milky Way. And the center of Milky Way is said to be what? Galactic center. Our sun also revolves around the galactic center in 3 crores 30 lakh years. But our Earth, we can also revolve around the sun in 1 tropical year, means 365.2422 days. As well, our moon revolves around the Earth in 27.3 days. It is said to be lunar month, and it's said to be solar month. It is the abbreviated form of the universe and how the origin of universe is possible at that time. But I shall also explain about what? I shall explain about the states of matter, because I shall describe the whole phenomenon about the matter. Because any physics, we can also begin from the matter. Then we can also write their complexity. Means from simple to complex. It is the alphabet of matter. It means you can take a screenshot energy. I will also explain about states of matter. States of matter. How many states of matter possible on the earth? You know about the only three matter. Number first, solid state. Number second, liquid state. Number third, gaseous state. Number fourth, colloidal state. Colloidal state. Number fourth, plasma state. Plasma state. Number fifth, it is said to be what? Bose-Einstein condensate. It means at the smaller level, there are only three states at the basic level. All students know about all these three states: solid state, liquid state, and gaseous state. Anyone know about these all three states? But you add in your knowledge another three states. It is said to be colloidal state, plasma, and Bose-Einstein condensate. Firstly, I shall also explain about what I shall explain about the solid state. What is the solid state? Solids are those which have definite shape, size, and volume is said to be solid. Liquid states are those which have the certain volume but uncertain or indefinite shape. Gaseous states are what? Those states of matter which have neither definite volume nor definite shape and size, said to be gaseous state. While example, solid, ice, iron, stone, bricks, etc. Example of solid. Liquid, water, milk, kerosene, diesel, ether, spirit, naphtha, alcohol, etc. Liquid state. Next, gaseous state: air, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, chlorine, inert gases, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, etc. These are present in gaseous form. Next, colloidal state are what? Colloidal state. There are three types of particle, three types of solution. Number first is said to be true solution. Second, colloidal solution. Number third, suspension. This side of particle which also less than 10 per minute, 7 meters is said to be true solution. And the particle size which also vary from 10 less than 10 per minus 7 more than 10 per minus 7 to or 10 power minus 4, it is said to be what? Colloidal state. But suspension particles which can also see by your naked eye, just like the sand particle is also suspended in the water. We can detect by your naked eye, it is said to be suspension particle. Next state, it is the more interesting state for you. It is said to be what? It is said to be plasma state. Plasma state are what? Suppose that you heat the piece of iron, it converts into cherry red hot. Then after you again heat, extremely heated to iron piece, it converts into liquid state. Then you also again heat it to that liquid iron, it also converts to the iron vapor, iron steam. Then you again convert it, again heat it to that iron steam, that also convert into plasma state. This state only present on the stars, and this state only present in the space electricity is also uh, mm, uh, produce or create at a time of thunderbolt, thunderstorms. Plasma state only present in the sun inside the core of sun. It is said to be plasma while the all electrons in the atom, it may be also escape out from the escape to the let the orbit of that electrons and that orbit of that atom. It is said to be what? It is said to be plasma state. When the electron escape out from the atom, they form the partition or cloud inside the core of sun. This state is said to be plasma state. Both scientific state will be also positive, extremely low temperature at the certain or specific or a critical condition of the matter is said to be plasma. Both scientific content set. All these 6 states may be also found here. But what are the kind of substances? Kind or types of substances what? These are basic things of the physics and also belongs to the chemistry. Types of substances. Substances are mainly 2 types. What? Pure substances and mixture. Mixture are also divided into 2 types. Homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Next, pure synthesis divided into what? 2 part element and compound. Element and compound. Elements, what definition of element? Elements are those which is composed of the same types of atoms or called elements. Iron, nickel, cobalt, aluminum, gold, copper, etc. There are 118 elements is also printed in modern periodic table at print time. Elements. About the compound, what is definition of compound? Compounds are those which is composed in the different proportion or the certain proportion said to be compound. It means those elements which are composed in certain proportion or certain or different ratio, different proportion is said to be compound. Such as H2O, CO2, CH4, etc. These are said to be compound. Next, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Those mixture which are same in nature, same type of particle present in that mixture, homogeneous. Heterogeneous mixture or those mixture, the different types of particles present in that mixture said to be heterogeneous mixture. Examples of mixture: air is composed of different types of gases, gunpowder, seawater, etc. These are examples of mixture. This topic in first video, by this topic also finish here. And in next video also explain about the some inventions and discoveries of the Indian scientists and foreign scientists. Yes, okay, thank you very much to everyone. And I shall meet you in second lecture, in second video.